Hey guys, this is deliciousVB with another tutorial, and in this tutorial, well, let's start off by saying this is the fourth tutorial in the beginner series, and this tutorial will cover this tutorial will explain exactly what's happening in these lines of code I showed you last tutorial, and I will talk about dialogues. So because last tutorial I was short on time, I decided to push it into this tutorial. Now, this tutorial is going to be on, like I said, explaining what these lines of code do. Now, you want to go to the code page, and you see this line of code. I left off with that last tutorial. Now, this line of coding is doing two things. First of all, it's getting the text of text box 1, and it's making button 1's text that. Now, what exactly is it doing? You see text box 1 dot text. Well, where does it get dot text? I'll show you. Dot text is a property. Text is a property. You're probably like, I think I heard that word before. It's right here. Properties. You find text. It is changing the text property. Yes, it is changing the text property. Okay, that's what it's doing when it says text box 1 text. Now, the text property is not read-only, so you can get the text of text box 1 and you can change the text of text box 1. Now, here you're changing the text, here you're getting the text. So you get the text of text box 1, and it basically saves it for about 1 nanosecond, and it's like change button 1.text to the saved memory of text box 1's text. Now, that's basically what this line is doing. Now, you can change different things. But yeah, that's basically what this line is doing. So this is getting text, this is setting text. So it should be easy to remember. Now, so this tutorial will be on dialogues. Now, we already know simple lines of coding. So, knowing these simple lines of coding should be able to basically teach you about dialogues. Now, dialogues cannot be shown on the programming the page thing, and they cannot be edited, but they can be shown when you're debugging. Now, how do you show them? Make sure you take note of the name of your color dialog. Change it if you want to, but make sure you know that. Now, double click on my first button, and it'll take you back to the button's click event. Now, here you see color dialog 1.show dialog. Now, this works for any dialog, whatever dialog, a print preview dialog, a color dialog, of course, save file dialog, open file dialog, folder dialog, font dialog, any dialog there is out there. This will work for it. Okay, so font dialog 1.show dialog, save file dialog 1.show, whatever it is. Now, you might see these two parentheses after this, and you're probably like, what is that supposed to mean? Seeing these two parentheses after it will be explained in a later video. But for now, I'm just going to put it like this. It's doing something. Show dialog, doing something. Send to back. I don't know, you might have seen that code, text box 1.send to back. It's doing something. Anything that does something has to be followed by this in order to work. Now, our lucky friends at Microsoft making Visual Basic 2010 Express automatically do that for us. We're the champions. So it's like, it's good. It does a lot for us, but so it shows the dialogue, and now you're probably like, well, how does it work? Like, what does it do? Like, how do I change the dialogue? Now, let's just say button 1, let's just change the four-color property, and four-color meaning text color property of button 1. So let's say button 1 dot four-color equals, now you can say color dot blue, color dot black, but we're gonna say color dialogue 1 dot color. Now you can see if you do a function like color dialogue 1 dot show dialogue, it will throw an error because it's the four colors becoming the color of color dialogue 1, the selected color in color dialogue 1. Now, if you're executing code, if you're doing something that couldn't possibly be recognized as a color, right? Like if I run 10 miles, that won't tell anything, any color. That will just do something. It will do something. So doing something will not create a color, and it'll create an error, because if you see like color dialogue 1 dot show dialogue, see, value type of system, I'm not gonna say this, not saying that, it's a little complicated. Color. So this is basically selected color dialogue 1 dot color. That's what it is. And so you can run it and test it, whatever you want to call it, debug it, anything. And you see this little window thing. And so you can click my first button, and it opens up a color dialog. And my friends, this is what a color dialog looks like. A color dialog is basically this dialog you can select in colors. Now, this is the only way you can preview a color dialog. There's no other way you can. Anyway, let's select that color, blue. And, you can define custom colors, anything you want with that. But let's just click OK. Now, it makes the text color blue. Dark green. It makes it green. Light green. It makes it light green. Red. It makes it red. So, yeah, that's the color dialog. Let's say, so let's add a font dialog is the same thing. Font dialog 1 dot font. Now, let's put up a little open file dialog. Now, let's make text box 1's text the file that they select. So let's say open file dialog 1 dot show dialog. Yes, you've seen this before. So, and it automatically adds the parentheses on. Now, you're going to make the text of text box 1. So let's say text box 1 dot text equals open file dialog. Now, of course, there's no picture, there's no nothing. Now, many people would guess open file dialog 1 dot file. Now, that's so close. It's file name, because it's hard to explain. It's a file name that you're getting. So, it's just the path of the file. So yeah, it's making text box 1's text the file that you selected. So let's click on my first button, and it opens a little thing, and well, you can browse anything you want. ASD FASD. Well, you click on that, click open, and it shows the location of the file. That's how open file dialogs work. Now, to actually open a file in, say, a text box, you'd have to make a rich text box first, then say rich text box 1.load file, and then the file name in parentheses. But, oh my god, we'll not talk about that. So, next thing I wanted to talk about, I kind of forgot to say this in the beginning of the video, but I didn't want to talk about this very quickly. Parentheses. So, let's say there's a function right here, Sam. Please don't use that one. So let's say there's it does something, okay? Now, sometimes, in order to do something, it'll need extra information. Now, let's use an example. Text box 1.append text. So, if you know your vocabulary, append, add, everyone should know that. Append text. Now, you might think, oh, appending text does something, so let's just put that. What's the error for? Well, append what text? What? Like, what am I supposed? Now, many people guess, oh, just put random text in here and append it, it's fine. Now, what's the error? Look, in order to make a string constant, which is what we call some text that stays the same throughout the whole program's life, it has to be shown in quotes. So, hi. Now, let's delete this code. So it needs the text. So let's say my first button, and that's hi back. So that's it for this tutorial. Make sure to rate, comment the tutorial, show me your opinion. Make sure to subscribe to see every video when it comes out. See the credits for more information, including my website, which is deliciousVB.net32.net. I will see you next tutorial, where I will be talking about. I'll be talking about if then else. So I will see you next time.